Hello and welcome to Startup with Poland, the show that brings the startup ecosystem in Poland right to your door, always keeping the wider global perspective in mind. My name is Tessa McIver and I am your host. My guest today is Paulina Walkowiak, CEO and founder of CUX, a UX and analytics automation tool that eliminates sales inhibits in digital products, especially for e-commerce. The CUX tool automatically selects data so that the user can immediately find your customer's problem and increase conversion. I am delighted to welcome Paulina, not only because she leads a startup that is growing at an impressive rate, but also because I'm such a fan of Paulina's personal story and why she founded a startup in the first place. Let's find out more. So Paulina, welcome to Startup with Poland.
Hi, Tessa. Hi, thanks for having me here.
It's an absolute honor to have you with us. And Paulina, let's dive straight in. First question, what motivated you to actually found a startup?
Actually, I really like this question because my first answer is I got pregnant. And it's not so obvious to start a startup where you get pregnant, right? It's like rather being crazy than into business. But that was the first motivation because we were talking with my partner, my business partner and my life partner about starting our own project, but we were not brave enough. I guess we didn't grow up in this culture of being entrepreneurs. Our parents are not this kind of people. So we were a bit shy about starting our own business. And when I got pregnant and I realized that I didn't want to do maternity leave, and for Kamil, it was like, yeah, I don't want to be this kind of a dad who spend only the weekends with the baby. So let's do our own project. Let's start with that. And that was our first thought. And then we realized how hard it is and what's going on in the startup world because we were totally fresh first when we started. But doing something for our own was always our dream. But the pregnancy was the impulse, the factor that made us do this. Yeah, so that's the story. We wanted to live around the world. We wanted to have this freedom. We wanted not to miss anything about our child, now children, but then back then it was the first child. So we started everything like simultaneously. Our baby was like 3 months old when we properly started to work on the businesses. First it was Software House, then CUX. So yeah,
wow.
That's the thing.
Well, that's a lovely, story. Indeed, not a common answer to
I know.
why did you start a startup? But I think, absolutely fantastic and inspirational. But tell us more about CUX. I mean, what actually, does CUX do? Who are your customers? Give us a bit of an insight.
Yeah, so CUX or CUX, as we speak in English, we can call it CUX, and our Polish CUX is the tool, the platform that allows the customers to detect where people, users on their websites, in their projects, get stuck, get frustrated, why they are not buying the products, for example. So it's the digital experience analytics platform, but I'm trying to avoid this word analytics because I realize that people are afraid of analytics because analytics means problems and we don't want to see the problems with our website. One of our customers, which we met actually on the MIT EF program, told us that CUX is the best way to add user perspective to their website. And that's really beautiful, I think. Like if you are a big corporate, because we are working mostly with upmarket companies. So if you are corporate and you are trying a lot of different things to get your customers attracted, get your customers engaged on your website, sometimes it's hard to come with the new ideas. And it's always like shooting 50-50, right? Do we have a great solution and people will love it or not really? So it's good to see what people really expect, what they do, what they need. And CUX allows you to develop your product in the way people will expect it. Yeah, so that's the platform. If it comes to our customers, because you asked me about that, we thought that it will be perfect solution for the e-commerces. and it is good for e-commerces, definitely, but our sweet spot right now is the insurance and financial companies, because of the privacy. Like, we really take care of the privacy, of security. We store all the data in the EOG. We really work on being sustainable in terms of storing the data and collecting all the data. So it's really important for those companies, and we can we can really help them into their changing or implementing this user perspective to their website. Just saying, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's great. I've been observing CUX's development for a while now, and you're really going from strength to strength. I mean, it's so impressive. But I'm sure there must have been so many really difficult moments, and
of course,
what
every
were
day.
they? But are there any sort of key, difficult moments, and how did you overcome them? How did you sort of, have the strength to say, okay, we're going to go on, we're going to, really develop this despite those hardships?
Sometimes I think that I'm just crazy, and that's the thing. But the biggest challenge in startup is that you are always juggling. It's never like the stable phase. You are always juggling in between getting the new customers, getting some funding or secure some funding, and also credibility, visibility, and stuff like this. So for me, on this startup way, the further I go, the more I enjoy it. Like when I realized that it's more like chess match doing the startup, I really started to enjoy it, and I'm trying to not be too, or not worrying too much about our those challenges or problems, rather think about them as everyday business, and just going forward, doing our job, and we know already that we are good at it. So I'm trying to worry less. And if I'm thinking about it as a chess match, it's just a strategy, it's just a game. So I'm trying over and over again, and that's the thing. That's something that gives me the strength to deal with it, I guess.
I love that. It's sort of like you're having, ensuring that you have fun whilst actually creating a serious business and growing a serious business, but not taking away that human emotional element of having a job that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, and as in a game, you need a bit of luck. You need good circumstances to succeed, and we are trying to use. Yeah, that's the strategy. So that's why we are trying to use this way, because it's really, when you're starting the business, it's really easy to get a lot of things personal and think, because we are not even in school, it's prohibited to make mistakes. Like, we are growing and hearing that doing mistakes, it's something wrong. And when you start your own business, you think, yeah, okay, I failed. Like, the first fuck up, oh, I failed, it's over, game over, definitely. And then after the hundreds of fuck ups, you realize that it's not over, it's going further, you are succeeding. So maybe it's more like a strategy, like a game, and it's not your personal mistake or personal failure. So yeah, definitely.
No, great. Paulina, I was really interested and intrigued when I saw that CUX as a company decided to implement the 4-day week. And, I'm interested to know, I know that's, a big topic in the last, months of, how we work, et cetera, but I'm interested to know, I mean, has that somehow affected, productivity of the company? Why did you decide to make that decision? And realistically, how does that work for you?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of different opinions about 4 days week, working week, and I realized that for big corporates or big companies that were cultivating this culture of working too much, it's not a good decision, because people who are just overwhelmed or tired, they will overuse it most probably. And in our case, it's like we have a really dedicated team. We have people who are really passionate about their job, and we realize that they really often work more than they are supposed to. So even because first we were trying with 6 hours working day, and it was not working because people were still working more than they should. So this 4-day week was for us the excuse and the reason to rest more. And for me, in terms of productivity, creativity, it's a great thing and a great advantage to our culture, like team culture, because it requires people to rest more. And it's really important in terms of burnout and stuff like this, for my team to rest a bit. And that was the only way to force them. Sometimes it's even forcing them to take a day off. And yeah, that's the thing. I would say that we were really afraid how will be affecting our results, our productivity, and it's affecting only in a positive way.
Okay, well, fantastic to hear.
Yeah,
fantastic to hear.
But it's not like, I guess not every company is able to do this. It's only, I guess it's a bit easier with a small team and with a team of the people who are like this, really dedicated to their work, really passionate about the work, the job. And in startup, we only need those people. We have to be honest that it's not a stable environment to work with, and we need people on the high level most of the time. So I guess that's at least something I can do for them to help them to rest, to balance their lives and work. And I'm not a big fan of the work-life balance term, but to live their lives besides the work. Yeah.
Well, no, fantastic to hear that. I mean, I've definitely had feedback, both positive and negative on all these different working models, but it's great to hear that in the case of CUX, at least it's really working. I don't want to put you in a box, because this always annoys me, people, because you are a female founder, that you are put in the box of the female founders. But I am interested on your take on whether you felt that you've had to try harder than male counterparts, or that it's been more difficult, or maybe not at all. But what is your take on being a female founder?
Yeah, I know that female founders struggle a lot, but in my personal case, in my personal experience, I never found it harder than being a man, because I never thought about it, and I was like, of course, I had some thoughts when I was raising the funding while pregnant. That was really extreme for me. And I had those anxiety, how it will work, what they will think, and if they will trust me. And I did it. I got the investor on board, and I was signing the contract when my baby was like 2 months old or something. So I definitely didn't struggle. I'm trying to use it as my strength, and I'm also really honest about it. Like, I didn't do the business because I wanted to be really rich or something. I started the business because I wanted to be a person who is also in a work environment or do the business, and also is a mother. I'm not this kind of mama bear or someone who will take a leave. Maybe sometimes I have doubts about it, like, okay, maybe you could use your maternity leave. From the perspective from the perspective of time, I think that it was a great decision for me. And being female founder, I use as my strength, definitely, using empathy and my gut feelings and stuff like this. It's really helpful. Also for building company culture. For me, it's natural to take care of the people. And sometimes I have to be careful, because I know that the team, it's not a family. And that's really important to set up the boundaries. But yeah, I would say that in my personal experience, I don't have any like hard struggles being female founder, but I know that there is a problem, and I guess it's because we sometimes try to prove ourselves too much, like we are trying to show that we can do something, or we are allowed to do something. And I guess we have to talk a bit more about it, so women will realize that they don't have to. They can, of course. There is a space around the table for them, and that's something that I'm really trying to do. We also had an interview in my company in the beginning of the year with 2 other amazing founders, Maya Schaffer and Eva Gallant. So yeah, That's something that is really
well. I'm incredibly proud of you and what you're doing, and flying the flag and showing that indeed not proving that you can, but showing that absolutely you do have a place at the table. And I think that's going to be very inspiring for future female founders to know that they can do it just as well. So fantastic. Paulina, to finish off, I'd like to know, what are your sort of, future plans in terms of, let's say short to medium term, both personally and for CUX?
Sure. So, for CUX, there is this new frontier the whole world is facing, and it's AI, obviously. So we also want to be there and use that momentum. So we started to develop our proprietary language model, which will be called AI Ocado Concierge, and will allow people who don't have analytical skills yet to use analytics in a most effective way. So definitely
Fantastic.
AI field and using this circumstances to grow our business, it's something that we are baking in DON currently. And if it comes to me, I'm currently enjoying living in Portugal, and after 1 year from the time when we moved in here, I started to enjoy being here, because living abroad can be really attractive for people, but in fact it's really stressful, and it usually you take like 1 year or something to get used to it, to build this environment for yourself, right, and feel familiar with everything and feel at home. So I just started to feel at home here in Lisbon, and I decided to just be in here in this exact moment and enjoy it. So that's my personal goal. I also study MBA. So in 1.5 years, I'm supposed to have the MBA title. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great to hear. Paulina, good luck with everything. Enjoy Lisbon. Enjoy, the fact that you've sort of started to feel at home. Obviously, I'm keeping my fingers very tightly crossed for CUX, especially that new AI element. So, good luck. And, I'm sure we'll be in touch, and I'll be definitely cheering you from the sidelines. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Tessa. Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk to you as always. Thank you.
As always. And thank you to our audience. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you next time with Startup from Poland.